Good evening. The Christmas season is almost here and we are warming up into it. Thank you and welcome to News 360. I'm Isa Moni.
And I'm Natalie Fort. Let's get into the headlines for this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by...
Police in Community 18 arrest a police officer who has been supplying armed robbers with guns from the service.
Tension mounts between Inconyes and Alavanyo group again following the disappearance of a 62-year-old native of Saviepe.
Ghana Mine Workers Union petitions Parliament to intervene in the decision to dismiss over 1,700 workers of the Takwa mines by Goldfields.
Halfway into business, power ship to be relocated to Takoradi to make use of gas from Cape 3 Points.
And on the international front this evening, Zimbabwe's new president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, seeks removal of sanctions imposed by Western countries, saying they're crippling national development. We've got the details of these stories for you here on News 360, as well as news from sports and entertainment. You're streaming live on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. Let's start off with our very first story this evening. The Accra Region Police Command has taken over investigations into a police corporal who has been assisting robbers with guns for operations. Corporal Raymond Amegashi of the Tema Station SWAT team, apart from supplying guns to armed robbers, also goes on operations with them.
35-year-old Corporal Raymond Amegashi, who is stationed at the Tema Regional Police Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT unit, is believed to be the leader of a robbery gang. The gang attacked and robbed the supermarket at Nungwa in the Greater Accra region around 9:30 Tuesday night. They reportedly made away with 54,000 cedis from the Sunday supermarket amid sporadic firing of AK-47 rifles. 3 of the suspected armed robbers, 30-year-old Stanley Akoli, Ibrahim Ayeribo, 23, and Bright Dokonu, 20, were intercepted at a police checkpoint at Abattoir in a taxi they used in the robbery. The police corporal Raymond Amegashi, who escaped at the first encounter, was arrested at Chokpoli barrier on his way to the Volta region. The police also retrieved 2 AK-47 rifles in his possession, in addition to several ammunitions.
We look forward into looking into him very well and finding out a lot about him. So those things I believe will come. So for now it will be quite difficult for me to conclude or find out whether he has been engaged in several of these misconduct in the past.
The 4 are to be put before court as soon as investigations into the crime is completed. TV3 Investigations has revealed that Corporal Amegashi was due to start examination on Friday, December 15, towards a promotion to sergeant. His arrest brings to 5 the number of police personnel arrested this year involved in high-profile crimes at Kaswa, Upper East Region and Tema Tollbooth. The arrival of Corporal Amegashi aroused anger among the personnel at the Accra region.
Right, Adam Bonai is a security analyst and joins me now on Skype to look at this issue. Adam, good evening, and it's good to have you on our network.
Good evening, and good evening to your cherished viewers.
Nice. Adams, 2017 alone, we have more than 5 cases of police involvement in armed robbery. I mean, what happens when the watchman who is supposed to watch over us is compromised?
Thank you very much, and once again, good evening to your cherished listeners, viewers. I think let's, for the purposes of our, viewers, I would want to take my time and explain some of the things that probably we are not doing right.
All right.
The police administration, they have 11 regional police geographical areas. The last region, they have 11. The last region is Tema, which probably sometimes they are not able to tell us because the police have not been able to tell their own story the way they should tell it. The second thing is that if you look at most of these robberies that have taken place involving police officers, usually they move from one geographical area where they are stationed, they move from there to another geographical area to commit these crimes. Policing in the 70s, policing in the 80s wasn't this way. And I would want to probably list a number of things. One round, if you were a police officer who was stationed in a factory or at a bank to provide, security, you would have somebody who would come in and make sure that you are there and your gun and whatever has been given to you, you have them there. You are sitting there. But today, we don't have that anymore.
Okay.
The other thing has to do with this. Okay. If you look at who appoints the IGP and most of the commissioners, you have to be, recommended to the council. The president gets to do all of these things. And you have a lot of these people who come through what is called a protocol list. They end up, being recruited into the police institution, and most of these guys end up, harming the same people they've been recruited to, protect. And so until such a time that we rethink and, be able to disconnect the police institution from the politics we do in this country, we are going to be faced with this problem. Remember, we have junior police officers in this country who somehow are more powerful than their own district commanders and regional commanders because they know one politician or the other. And so the guy commits a crime and nobody, the police officers, the senior officers are afraid to, reprimand him or sanction him. And so until we look at this thing holistically, we'll not be able to do it. In the past, if you were a police officer and you were, let's say you were given leave to visit your village, if you had to enter another geographical police district or region, you need to know the district commander that geographical area. And the simple reason is that so that if there was anything that looks suspicious, they will know we have this highly trained person who can handle guns and ammunition within our territory. Today, all that is dead. And so until such a time that as a people, we begin to interrogate some of these issues, we are going to have police officers who, this police officer had 2 AK-47s. And I can tell you on authority that we have police officers who have their own AK-47s. And so now who is watching the watchman? The question you asked. And so we can get on to your next question. Thank you.
Yeah, so Adam, so finally, are there enough punishment, that is being meted out to police officers who are caught committing such crimes? Is it enough? Usually,
if this person, this police corporal who, he left Tema. The example I gave, he's with the SWAT unit in Tema. He moved to Accra, which is not his geographical area, to Accra to come and commit robbery with 2 AK-47s. Usually, these officers would have to face what they call the service inquiry. They will go through the police process of, making sure you are investigated, and you face, whatever crime you might have committed in the law court. And most of them are not let go. They are sent to prison. But not enough. I do that so that we don't have all this protocol list, people coming in. I know DCE says I have 2 people. MP says I have 10. Minister says I have 6. This says I have this. And so until we do that, it doesn't matter the punishment we give out. We are still going to be recruiting bad not into the police service. And crime And this type of thuggery would not leave our community and our society.
All right. We're grateful to Adam Bona, he's a security analyst, and he was having a chat with me via Skype on the involvement of police in armed robbery in recent times.
News 360 Skype interview is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go.
On to some other stories now. The Ghana Mine Workers Union has petitioned Parliament to intervene in the decision to dismiss over 1,700 workers of the Tarkwa mines by Goldfields. The leadership of the House has, however, assured the union that the best interest of the 9 workers would be protected in any negotiations.
Members of the Ghana Mines Workers Union marched to the Parliament House to present their petition. They want the gold mining company stopped from going ahead with its decision to lay off some 1,700 workers. Presenting the petition to the leadership of the House, General Secretary of the Union, Prince William Ankra, said this would not happen under their watch. Receiving the petition on behalf of the Speaker of Parliament, the Majority Leader Osei Mensah-Bonsu assured the group Parliament would work to ensure their interest is protected.
You're on News 360, and yes, let's move on to the phone lines and speak to Prince Ankra. He's the General Secretary of the Mine Workers Union, and he's going to speak to us about this issue we just brought to you. 1,700 mine workers of the Tarkwa mines are to be laid off. Prince, good evening, and thank you for agreeing to speak to us. Hello, Prince Ankra, can you hear me? We don't appear to have Prince on the phone lines. We will try and reactivate it and get him back and speak to Prince Ankra. Prince Ankra, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Prince, if you can hear me. Hello, Prince Ankra. I'm sure we've lost Prince now. We'll try and get him back on the line and speak to him. We understand 1,700 mine workers of the Tarkwa mines are to be laid off, and the Mine Workers Union have presented a petition to Parliament asking for an intervention. We're trying to get him back. Prince Ankra, General Secretary of the Mine Workers Union, are you back? Good evening. Well, I'm sure we'll try and we'll try and get Prince back. As soon as we're able to establish the phone lines, we'll be speaking to him about their concern, what exactly is in their petition to Parliament, and we'll also find out if mining is still profitable as the Workers' Union is claiming, and why the owners want to lay off, in spite of their claim that 85% of them will still be re-engaged by their new owners. Let's move on to other stories now. The minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, wants the Ghana Football Association hauled before Parliament to give a roadmap of how it intends to develop local tournaments. According to him, the association has not been effective in that regard. He was contributing to the motion to approve the budget estimate for the sports ministry.
There was a motion for the House to approve the sum of 32,799,500 cedis for the services of the Ministry of Youth and Sports for 2018. Some members were worried the money was inadequate. Others wanted the ministry to promote other sporting disciplines apart from soccer.
We need to have sporting activities happening in schools. We need to have sporting activities happening on neighborhoods, communities, and out of school young people. These don't exist at all in this country.
Sometimes our hands are tied that the GFA is independent. Independent of who? The GFA cannot be independent of Parliament or the people's representative. One of these days, I encourage the Committee of Youth and Sports of Parliament to hold the Ghana Football Association to give us a blueprint how they intend to improve the performance of all the national teams in all competitions in Ghana.
The House also approved the sum of 61,380,673 cedis for the services of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. The sum of 75,279,119 cedis has been approved for the services of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Meanwhile, the former Minister for Tourism, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, wants government to give credit of the Marine Drive project to the Mahama administration.
All what I'm saying is that we give credit to who it is due. The cabinet approval was given by Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The implementation was done by him. We followed the processes. Contracts were signed under Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And this is a project that he received monthly briefing. That even though previous government had the desire to develop the Marine Drive, it was Excellency John Dramani Mahama who came up with a financing model which was acceptable to everybody.
Sought for the commencement of the project on Friday.
Let's turn away from Parliament now, as tension is mounting between the Nkonias and Alavanyo group again following the disappearance of 62-year-old native of Saviapa, George Akoli. The Alavanyos have accused the Nkonias of killing their kinsman, but they have denied responsibility, urging them to look beyond their borders.
Relationship between Alavanyo and Nkonia was relatively calm until recently. At least, there was no shooting for a considerable period. The peace provided the atmosphere for Alavanyos to host the Sasadu Festival that marks the ancient migration history among four traditional areas, Saviapa, Akrofu, Sovie and Alavanyo. In the midst of the celebrations, a 62-year-old man from Saviapa, George Akoli, was reportedly missing. A supposed caller who allegedly claimed to be from Nkonia, known as Lucifer, claimed responsibility. This is what has marred the seeming peace and reopened fresh suspicion. The people of Alavanyo, without doubt, accuse their neighbors of the crime amidst threats of revenge.
If they tell us that they don't know anything about that man, the person who called said he was Lucifer, and this man has strayed into their area, there's no need searching for him because he has killed him.
But the Nkonias denied the accusation.
We had a message that if they don't find the said George, they are coming to attack us. I want to tell my brothers from Alavanyo that we don't have George. We haven't been to Alavanyo to pick George from Alavanyo. We haven't seen George coming to Nkonia.
Boji Road, the secret personnel are here with us. Before you get inside Alavanyo, the secret personnel, they are there. When you get the route to Nkonia Tai, they are there. And then in Nkonia Township, they are also there. Why did this man pass through before the secret men didn't come across him?
Paramount Queen Nana Otubia also urged their neighbors to join hands in fishing out the culprit.
I'm pleading with the youth and the people of Alavanyo and Nkonia that we should look beyond ourselves, that if something happened in Alavanyo, it is Nkonia. If something happened in Nkonia, it is Alavanyo. No, we want peace.
Other sub-chiefs and queens, as well as members of Nkonia, expressed dismay over the development and appealed to the security to help prevent yet another bloodshed.
Well, if something happens in Nkonia, it is by Alavanyo. If something happens in Alavanyo, it is by the Nkonias. Right. So from there, let's drive to a district courtroom in Accra, which has adjourned to 2018, the case involving the murder of Ebuakwa North Member of Parliament, J.B. Dankwa Edu. This follows failure on the part of the pathologist to appear in court for the fourth time after being summoned.
Dr. Lawrence Edusei was to appear before the court and present the report to aid the prosecution process, but failed despite a court order to make the post-mortem report available before Thursday, December 14. Daniel Asedu have been charged with murder, while he is together with one Vincent Boso charged with abetment of crime. They were discharged from a high court when the Attorney General filed for discontinuation of the earlier trial, but were later rearrested and fresh charges preferred against them. The former Ibuaka North MP was stabbed to death on the dawn of February 9, 2016 at his Shashi residence in Accra. The case has been adjourned to January 4 next year.
Now, the Chief Justice has warned the judiciary will not tolerate actions by some sections of the public to bribe officers of the law courts. Justice Sophia Kufu said persons implicated and arraigned would be drastically punished. She was speaking at the official launch of the Anti-Corruption Action Plan for the Judiciary and Judicial Service in Accra.
The Anti-Corruption Action Plan is to sanitize activities of officers of the law court. The plan also seeks to make recruitment into the judicial service transparent. It covers 2017 and 2019 and will allow the judiciary to refer complaints to the disciplinary committee. For those implicated in the process, the action plan allows their conditions of service to be reviewed. The 11-page document focuses on integrity and reducing opportunities for corruption. Already, the judiciary has come under severe criticism since 2015 over some corrupt judges. Chief Justice entreated the public to desist from offering bribes to judges.
If there is not a giver, there's not a taker. And of course, it works the other way. If the taker doesn't want to take, the giver has no one to give it to. So we need to deal with both the giver and the taker. That's the holistic approach.
A justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Sophia Adinyira, was confident the document would promote good governance.
A lot more has to be done to ensure a non-corrupt judicial system so as to guarantee in the administration of justice in Ghana quality, timely and accessible justice for all.
Currently, Parliament has passed the Special Prosecutor's Bill awaiting presidential assent. Under the bill, a special prosecutor would be expected to retrieve all monies wrongfully appropriated. Minister of Justice and Attorney General Gloria Kufu pledged to uphold the independence of the Special Prosecutor.
The office of the Special Prosecutor, like any other institution, cannot win the war against corruption alone. It is expected that the office will attract the support, cooperation, and collaboration of existing security and anti-corruption agencies, including the judiciary.
You're on News 360, and ahead of the New Patriotic Party Extraordinary Delegates Conference on Sunday in Kumasi, well, the external branches of the party are calling on the delegates to vigorously reject any proposal which is retrogressive and reclusive. They maintain policies that will discourage further participation in the democratic process should not be countenanced.
The governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, in August this year, held its National Delegate Conference in Cape Coast to deliberate on the amendment of portions of its constitution. The NPP will hold its Extraordinary Delegate Conference in Kumasi to consider proposals for the constitutional amendment. The proposed amendment include provisions that will fundamentally alter the extent of participation and role of external branches. At a press briefing held by representatives of the 25 external branches of the party, they raised concerns about the proposed amendment, especially those under the heading Rights of Members. This proposed amendment says a member shall be disqualified from holding any office or contesting any election in the party if he or she owes allegiance to a country other than Ghana. Thus, chairperson of the NPP UK branch, Michael Ansah, described as an attempt to sideline members of the external branches.
The implication of the proposed change and the rights of members, if implemented, is that there will be no place for external branch members who are also dual citizens in any leadership role or in any capacity in our party, a party that they've worked so hard to sustain.
He expressed worry over the ad hoc committee which oversaw the collection of the proposal's decision not to include a representative from the external branches.
Our members have noted with incredulity and dismay that the ad hoc committee did not include a single representative from any of the external branches. The exclusion of such a large cross-section of the party members is inexcusable.
He appealed to delegates going to the conference to resist any amendment proposal that is self-seeking and retrogressive.
We want to appeal to all delegates to the conference that any constitutional amendment or proposals which in essence are or may be retrogressive or which pose a present danger to the gains we have made over the past 25 years in the history of our party should not be entertained. In fact, they should be rigorously rejected with every fiber of our collective being.
Michael Ansah is of the view holding a dual citizenship should not bar one from holding office in the NPP.
Holding dual citizenship should not be a bar to holding office in the NPP at home or in the diaspora.
Welcome back to News 360. Let's delve into some business news this evening. Now, in line with the Christmas, police personnel who would be deployed for special operations during the festive season would arrest persons who flout the ban on the use of explosives. The police service insists that it is illegal to manufacture or possess categories of firecrackers that have been banned in the country.
The use of firecrackers is a common feature during the festive period, and concerns have been raised about the irresponsible use of such explosives. Executive Instrument EI 21 of 1999 prohibits the manufacture, possession or carriage of any explosives, including firecrackers, in the country. Popularly known as knockouts, artillery shells and balls, display shells and canister shells. Despite the ban, some traders sell such explosives on the market. Director General of the Police Public Affairs Directorate, ASP David Eklu, indicated to ensure strict compliance, persons who flout the directive would be arrested.
The use of these types of explosives or firecrackers has the potential to harm even the users and neighbors. So as part of the safety and crime prevention tips, we say, please don't use them. You can use any other ones on the market, but these particular ones are dangerous. The police have been authorized to seize and arrest even the users.
He reminded persons who have such explosives in their possession to deposit at the nearest police station.
To cause fire outbreak, they can even harm you. When they explode, they can even cause burns on people. Over the years, some people have been hurt as a result of the use of these explosives.
ASP Eklu again advised persons who will use other explosives that are allowed by law to exercise restraint.
Please be careful, you don't use them in close to naked fire, close to petrol or inflammable items. Be careful, you don't use them, you don't throw them in a crowd because it could cause panic.
Offenders are liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million cedis or a term of imprisonment not exceeding a year or both.
Now, more than 1,000 traders at the Takoradi market in the Western region have been compelled to pay 5 cedis each to appease the area market god, Nana Abubunia. The traders have blamed the gods for the poor sales at the markets. Lovebridge and Prechum Otre witnessed the incident and has filed the following report.
Nana Abubunia is believed to be the protector of the markets who also ensures good sales for the traders. He is supposed to be fed in an annual ritual, but this has been curtailed for the past 8 years, provoking his anger. The market was locked up while the chief priest of Amanfol, which presides over the deity, performed the rituals. This included libation, sprinkling of mashed yam or eto in Akan Palace, and slaughtering of 4 chickens and 2 sheep. Some traders, however, defied the direct chief to stop selling and went about their trading activities outside the market. But they had their goods sprinkled with some concoctions, perhaps to intimidate them to stop selling. The chief priest, Komfo Araba Ison, says the market deity has been defiled, apart from the fact that the needed rituals were not being performed.
The
There are different reactions at the market. Whilst some have welcomed the rituals, others insist there are natural factors to be blamed for the poor sales.
Moate. And some man away, no, young window.
She said, Nana, yeah, the whole woman, I come at Tony, you have seen Ghana. Is this your question?
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle in the Western region, I am Laverage and Prochum Ochri for TV3 News.
Well, interesting one there. We'll see how things turn out at the Takoradi market. On to other stories now. The largest ever car power ship has been inaugurated at the Tema Fishing Harbour. Deputy Minister of Energy Joseph Kujo hinted the power ship, Osman Khan, will relocate to Takoradi to make use of gas from Cape 3 Points. Meanwhile, Caradine's power ship will use Ghana as its sub-regional office.
According to Deputy Minister of Energy Joseph Kujo, the 470 megawatts power ship is replacing the 235 megawatt power ship. He hinted the car power Osman Khan will be relocated to Takoradi. He indicated with Ghana's power demand increasing by 10% annually, government will put up the necessary policies to ensure sustainable, accessible, reliable and affordable electricity. Car Power Ship Ghana has reiterated its uninterrupted and consistent electricity to the national grid. The CEO of Car Power Ship Ohan Remzi Karadene said the presence of the power ship Osman Khan is the fulfillment of his obligation to ECG.
With almost a new power ship being added to our fleet every month, Car Power Ship is growing steadfast towards 5,000 megawatts by the end of 2019. The sophisticated engineering marvels built in shipyards in Turkey reach out to many countries, demonstrate exemplary success stories just like the one we have been able to achieve in Ghana. And this is not done alone. This is done with the cooperation of two peoples, two countries' peoples, Turkey, Ghana, and all the communities and all the stakeholders involved.
The 470 megawatts car power ship will be generated at 450 megawatts capacity.
Let's turn attention to the banking sector now, as First Bank Financial Services has been inducted as a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, in the Platinum category. Director of Business Development at First Bank, Gordon Deary, says being a member of CIMG means the bank has to continue to change the face of investment banking in the country. The 2016 Fund Manager of the Year's application for a platinum membership of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana was approved after all documents requested were submitted and verified by CIMG. Director of Business Development, Gordon Deary, says the platinum membership of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana comes with a lot of benefits which are key for First Bank in enhancing its business for clients.
When CIMG organizes programs, we are entitled to take part in the program, provide our services to people who will be attending the program, interact with members, sell our products specifically.
He indicated the move to join CIMG is to enable First Bank continue making the needed impact on investment banking in the country.
We want to be viewed out there as a customer-oriented organization, and ever since First Bank started operating, we have always put the customer as the center of our operations, and even our products are reflecting on the needs of our customers.
The Business Development Director said your corporate social responsibility is key.
The international community would also see that we are working with certain principles in the marketing arena. And so it will also give us a boost for business in terms of the investment market.
First Bank Financial Services is also a member of entities such as the Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Ghana Stock Exchange and Securities and Exchange Commission. And on that note, we wrap up the business news here on News 360 this evening. For more business stories, visit our website. That's 3news.com. We've got some sports news for you next. Stay with us.
$8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, close to 2,000 hours a year. That's what you invest in your business as you strive for the life you dream of. You're putting in the work. Make sure you get what you deserve. Get retrenchment insurance. Get an overdraft. Get a Visa credit card. Get Barclays Prestige Banking. You've earned it.
Wish you a Merry Christmas from Sasso insecticide spray and Sasso mosquito pump. Tum tum preku mo punye mo yempe tum tum bia mo punye mo yempe tum tum bia. We wish you a Sasso Christmas from our Sasso team. We wish you a Sasso Christmas from Asaso team.
Worm infestation can make your active family develop a dull attitude, restlessness, fatigue, anemia, nausea, loss of weight, and appetite are some of the symptoms of worm infestation. Deworm yourself and your kids with Nespen. Nespen is a broad-spectrum dewormer. Just one dose kills most common worms. Nespen comes in tablets for adults and suspension for kids. Nespen sets you free from worms. Imported and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited.
Enjoy the new Fine Yogo Maxi size in addition to the regular size. Same refreshing taste in a bigger pack. Fine Yogo Maxi, or regular. You choose. Fine Yogo Maxi, or regular. Grab yours now from your Fan Milk vendor.
The sports segment is brought to you by
Good evening and thanks for staying with us on News 360. My name is Anako Jafre with the sports update. There is good news for least finance sports because the Ministry of Youth and Sports has initiated the process for the establishment of a National Sports Development Fund. My colleague Thierry Nyan sat through day one of the stakeholders session.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports held a stakeholders forum on Thursday as part of efforts to establish the National Sports Development Fund. The fund, which is geared towards finding alternative sources of funding for the ministry, was backed by the Finance Ministry during the 2018 budget reading last month. And this will seek to raise enough funds to support the recognized sporting federations in the country. Several channels will be used in generating income for the development fund, including sports lotteries, taxes from betting industry, and ticketing from football games. The Minister of Sports, Isaac Esiama, shed light on how this development fund will help improve sports quality in Ghana.
Sports is for health, for fitness, and for productivity. Together with the National Youth Authority, we are coming out with what we call Youth in Sports model, and also we are going to establish multi-purpose youth centers, beginning from next year. We are going to build 10 multi-purpose youth centers. In all these youth centers, we shall have sporting facilities that will promote not less than about 15 games locally. And let me assure you, and let me say with all respect to our legend, Professor Zuma Nelson, that the Kanesi Zuma Nelson Sports Complex is going to be transformed.
The Federation seemed ready for this, with Ghana Arm Wrestling Association President Charles Osei-Sibe delighted with the initiative.
I am happy that as we speak, one of the legacies the current government or the sports ministry wants to leave is the document on sports funding, that we're able to get it done. Once that is done, it will enhance sports development and performance, because our athletes are unable to perform because we don't have the facility.
In other news, the Confederation of African Football has outlined how the dates for its club competitions will begin to change from 2018. CAF Director of Communication, Junior Biyan, says the move to holding the tournament between August or September and in May the following year is not to fit in with European clubs. According to Junior Biyan, this will allow to have a player registration period for the CAF competitions and matches that the countries will be playing in that period. The change in date to all the competition was approved in July's meeting of the CAF's Executive Committee in Morocco following a symposium on the future of the game in Africa. Now to news in the English Premier League, and Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho has been asked to clarify the comment he made before Sunday's derby defeat to Manchester City. The Football Association has requested observations from the Portuguese regarding his pre-match news conference on the Friday before the game. Mourinho suggested City players go to the ground easily, saying, and I quote, "a little bit of wind and they fall." He has until 18 hours GMT on Monday to respond to the FA. Our final story takes us to the world of boxing, where Vladimir Klitschko has sold the rope containing a USB stick with his fight prediction before his defeat to Anthony Joshua in April for £160,000. Klitschko wore the rope before his final professional fight at Wembley. It had a USB stick sewn into it that contained his prediction of how the bout would unfold, saying the only person who would ever hear that prediction will be the buyer. The Ukrainian was stopped in the 11th round of the heavyweight bout but has since retired from the sport. The money raised from the rope sale at the Charge 2 boxing fundraiser at London's Royal Horticultural Society halls on Wednesday will go to projects supported by the Klitschko Foundation. And that's all the sports here on News 360. My name is Anako Jaffrey. Thanks very much for watching. Always a pleasure serving you. Good evening.
Oh, hi! I'm making my delicious yam fritters today. My dad loves them, which makes it easier to ask for extra pocket money. I use yam, chicken breast, seasoning, zucchini, carrots, spinach, flour, baking powder, herbs, pepper, and my favorite, fritol. First, prepare a thick batter. Then create a hollow center in the yam and boil. Dip the yam in the batter and deep fry with fritol. Season the chicken, stir fry, and saute vegetables. Garnish and serve.
Everyone has that one meal that is unbeatable.
What's yours?
Join the One Meal Challenge and show the world why absolutely nobody makes that one memorable dish like you can.
This dish always works.
Fritol, making life memorable.
Stomach pain. He's got flu.
Come. You too. Both of you.
Both?
The illnesses are different, but the problem of both is the same.
Same?
Germs. When germs go from hand to mouth, they cause illnesses like stomachache. And when germs go inside the nose, they cause illnesses like flu. The symptoms are different, but the protection remains the same.
New Lifebuoy with Active Natural gives 10 times better protection from infection-causing germs.
is.
We now use Peak Milk in this family with its new Peak Green. And the low cholesterol is good for me. See?
New Peak Green. Great taste, low cholesterol.
The Peak Milk family is growing. Enjoy breakfast every morning with original rich and creamy Peak Milk. Or discover great taste and low cholesterol with the new Peak Green. Peak. Unlock your potential.
Selfie, be more boathy. New Nokia 8 with dual sight camera mode on Android.
Star Beer is so 10 over 10 it won the 2017 International Monday Award for Quality. And now, your Gold Award-winning Star Beer is giving you a taste of the gold. That's right, win real gold. Just open a bottle of Star and check under the crown cork for your chance to win one of our real gold bars and free bottles of Ghana's liquid gold. There are over 3 million Ghana cedis in prizes to be won. So grab a bottle of Star and win gold with Star. Star Beer, the taste of beer.
Now, viral song One Corner by Patapaa is in the news again. The song, released in July 2017, appeared in the 2017 10 most searched songs in Nigeria. We have that and more in Entertainment News tonight.
ZionFelix.net, searching for the top 10 most searched songs in Nigeria for this year on Google Trend, saw One Corner on the list. One Corner placed fourth, beating hit songs like If by Davido, Mad Over You by Runtown, among others. The viral song was the only Ghanaian hit to appear on the 2017 top 10 most searched songs in Nigeria. It will be recorded that top Nigerian stars, including Ricardo Banks, Foz, and Davido, joined the One Corner craze. Interestingly, One Corner was the 8th most searched song in Ghana in 2017, with Taking Over by Shatawale placing first on the list.
Well, this One Corner dance, I seem to get a lot of people in the whim of it. Still on entertainment news, Ebby Bright used to be one of the major names on the lips of Ghanaians as being amongst the best actors in the country. After halting her acting career and meddling in politics, she opens up about losing, sharing the recovery process and what she's been up to recently in an exclusive interview with Adra Amofa-Osei.
1 year post 2016 elections, actress Ebby Bright, who ran for the parliamentary seat of the Tema Central constituency, has been on the low. But what has she been up to? And is she going to go back to acting very soon? We are here to find out. Regardless of the many attacks and criticisms that surrounded her bid in the 2016 elections, she says the process was refreshing and she does not regret making that decision. Ebby explained the youth now appreciates the role of movie stars in national development after she contested for the elections.
Midtown Girl, I think, is a really, really interesting story. It's something that the average West African young woman or man can relate to. It explores many of the issues that affect us or confront us in our relationships.
Though she could not win the Tema Central seat, she says the period of recovery has been that of reflection and enlightenment. Regarding her bikini pictures which popped up on social media during the campaign period, she said she had kept quiet on it because they were irrelevant, noting that she had been decent throughout her acting career.
Those were at my private birthday party at my beach house. So there was nothing else that I should have been wearing if I was going in and out of the water. I wish, honestly, that people would be more concerned about the very real struggles around us, you know, and stop fixating on individuals and their own private life.
We must kill her tonight.
We can't kill her.
I don't trust her.
She'll betray us. I can read her like a book.
We must poison her.
About the movie industry, Ebby said its fortunes were dwindling, needing urgent revamp.
We've had the so-called glamour movies and then the Kumawood movies, and it's almost like it's two different Ghanaian cultures. We have to find a middle ground. Also, maybe what the Kumawood movies are suffering from is that we're not challenging the imagination of our audience. We're just feeding them, you know, the same thing that they're comfortable with. We need to improve that. But also, I think the glamour side of it needs to be more realistic about the true picture of the regular urban or contemporary Ghanaian.
As to whether or not she will go back to acting, she said time will tell. Meanwhile, she noted that she has no plans of contesting again in the 2020 elections.
Wow.
Well, very interesting.
Yeah, bold move she made.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's it for this edition for News 360. My name is Issa Mone. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Natalie Fort. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. News at 10 will simulcast on 3FM 92.7. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening.